Purple skies. The first signs came at midnight when the observatory systems at Meridian Research Center began pinging frantically. Something massive just entered our atmosphere, Dr. Sarah Chen whispered as she stared at the readings. The sky above, Meridian City transformed without warning, turning a deep violet color that pulsed with strange energy. "This can't be happening," she said to herself, adjusting her glasses while her colleagues rushed around the laboratory in panic. Sarah remained calm despite the chaos. Her years studying theoretical alien biology had prepared her for this moment, though she never truly believed it would come. "Dr. Chen, the president is requesting your immediate presence at the emergency council," said Isabel, her assistant, whose hands shook as she held out the secure phone. "Tell them I'll be there after I collect my research," Sarah replied, brushing her dark hair from her face. "These readings match nothing in our databases." Outside the research center, people gathered in streets pointing upward as the massive ships descended through the purple haze. Their design defied conventional engineering, with flowing organic curves that seemed to ripple like liquid metal. The largest vessel positioned itself directly over the city center, hovering silent and ominous. When the ships opened, Sarah watched through binoculars as figures emerged, tall, elegant, and distinctly feminine, with skin that shimmered with a purple iridescence. Their movements were graceful, yet predatory as they surveyed the humans gathering below. "The Astrians," Sarah whispered, recognizing aspects from ancient astronomical texts she'd studied. "They actually exist." The alien leader stood at the front of her group, surveying the crowd with evident disdain. Her armor gleamed with embedded crystals that pulsed in rhythm with the sky above. "I am Commander Rena of the Astrian Dominion." Her voice projected effortlessly across the gathering. "We have observed your planet for generations, and find it lacking." Sarah pushed through the crowd, determined to witness this historic moment up close. The alien commander's eyes found hers immediately, as though sensing her scientific curiosity. "Your species has potential, yet squanders it on meaningless conflicts," Rena continued. "We come to test if humanity deserves to continue its path, or if Earth would be better served under Astrian guidance." Military vehicles surrounded the landing zone as soldiers established a perimeter. Sarah showed her government credentials and was allowed through. "Stay back, Dr. Chen," warned General Kai, a stern woman whose hand remained fixed on her sidearm. "We don't know their intentions." "Their intentions seem clear enough," Sarah responded. "They're here to judge us." Commander Rena approached the human delegation, her movements fluid like water. "Your weapons are unnecessary," she said with a slight smile. "If we wished harm, we would have begun already." "What do you want from us?" General Kai demanded. "A simple exchange." Rena replied, "We will select representatives of your species for compatibility testing. If they prove worthy, we will share knowledge beyond your imagination. If they fail—" Her eyes narrowed. "We claim Earth as a protectorate, under Astrian rule." Sarah stepped forward despite Kai's warning glare. "What kind of compatibility testing?" Rena's gaze lingered on Sarah with newfound interest. "Intelligence, strength, adaptability." She moved closer, studying Sarah's face. "Your kind has potential buried beneath primitive instincts. We are not primitive," Sarah stated firmly. "Then prove it," Rena challenged. 3 days to present your champions, or we select them ourselves." She turned and walked back toward her ship, her warriors following in perfect formation as the aliens retreated. Sarah felt a strange certainty that humanity's fate had just been altered forever. "General," she said, turning to Kai, "I need to find someone." "Who?" Kai asked. "Alex Cooper," Sarah replied. "If anyone can help us understand what we're facing, it's him." "Cooper disappeared years ago." Kai frowned. "After what happened at Project Sentinel?" "I know where he might be," Sarah said, already walking toward her vehicle. "And we're running out of time." The purple sky pulsed ominously above as Sarah drove away from the city, determined to find the one person who might understand these aliens, the man who had once touched the stars himself. The Hidden Protector. Deep in the Cascade Mountains, a solitary cabin stood weathered by years of harsh elements. Alex Cooper chopped firewood with mechanical precision, each swing of the axe releasing tensions that never truly faded. "Someone's coming," he muttered to himself, hearing the distant hum of an engine long before any normal person would. He continued his work, pretending not to notice as the vehicle struggled up the unpaved road. Finally, a sleek government car appeared, kicking up dust as it stopped near his porch. Alex didn't look up until he heard footsteps approaching. "Alex Cooper? I'm Dr. Sarah Chen from Meridian Research," she called out. Alex studied her with a guarded expression, his face weathered beyond his 35 years. "Whatever you're selling, I'm not interested," he responded, returning to his chopping. "I think you'll want to hear about our purple visitors," Sarah replied, undeterred, "the ones currently hovering over every major city." This made him pause. "Astrians?" he asked, his voice suddenly tense. Sarah's eyes widened. "You know about them?" Alex set down his axe and walked toward his cabin. "Come inside, Doctor, before they track you here," he said grimly. The interior was sparse but organized, with unusual equipment scattered among normal furnishings. "How did you find me?" he asked as he pulled worn curtains closed. "Project Sentinel files." Sarah answered. "Most were redacted, but I have high clearance." Alex's jaw tightened. That project was buried for good reasons. "The Astrians have issued a challenge." Sarah continued, ignoring his discomfort. "They want representatives for compatibility testing, or they'll take over Earth. They seem particularly interested in human biological responses." "Of course they are," Alex muttered, pouring water into 2 cups. "They've been studying us for decades." Sarah accepted the water, studying his movements with scientific curiosity. "The files mentioned you encountered something during your last space mission." "Encountered is a polite way of putting it," Alex replied, pushing up his sleeve, revealing unusual scarring patterns that seemed to shimmer faintly under certain light. "They experimented on me for 3 days before I escaped. Their ship." Sarah gasped. "You're the only human who's been inside their vessels and survived." "Lucky me," he said bitterly. "The military wanted to dissect me afterward, so I disappeared." "We need your help," Sarah said, leaning forward. "Commander, Rena has given us 3 days to present champions." Alex laughed without humor. "And you want the lab rat to volunteer?" "I want information," Sarah countered. "Weaknesses, vulnerabilities, anything that might help us." Alex studied her intently. "Why, you? Why not send soldiers?" "Because I understand their biology, at least theoretically," she replied. "Their cellular structure suggests sensitivity to certain wavelengths of light. Their neural pathways indicate possible telepathic abilities. They're stronger, faster, and more technologically advanced than we are," Alex warned. "I watched one warrior take down 3 trained astronauts without breaking stride." "Yet you escaped," Sarah pointed out. A tense silence fell between them. Their eyes met and something unspoken passed between them. Sarah noticed his hands were steady despite the subject matter, while Alex observed her fearless curiosity. "There's more you're not telling me," he finally said. Sarah hesitated. "General Kai thinks you might be physically enhanced from your time with them. She wants to use you as one of our champions." Alex's expression darkened. "I'm not anyone's weapon." "We're running out of options," Sarah argued. "They've already begun selecting humans for testing: a physicist from Berlin, a swimmer from Sydney." "And you?" he asked suddenly. "Are you volunteering, Doctor?" Sarah looked away. "Commander Rena has already expressed interest in me." Alex moved closer, his hand suddenly gripping her arm. "Don't let them take you," his voice intense with urgency. "You have no idea what they're capable of." The contact sent an unexpected warmth through Sarah's body. "Then help me understand," she whispered. "Help me stop this." Their faces were inches apart when suddenly Alex stiffened. His eyes darted toward the window. "We need to move," he said, releasing her. "They've found us." "How could they possibly?" Sarah began. The tracking is in your blood. He interrupted, gathering essentials with practiced efficiency. Anyone who's been near their ships carries nanites. Sarah watched him move with inhuman speed. What exactly did they do to you, Alex? He paused, looking at her with vulnerability breaking through his hardened exterior. They made me something new, something caught between human and Astrian, and they'll want to finish what they started. A humming sound filled the air, growing louder. Trust me? Alex asked, extending his hand. Sarah took it without hesitation. Lead the way. They slipped out the back door as purple light began to illuminate the forest above them. The challenge accepted. The underground military facility bustled with activity as General Kai briefed her team. These schematics show Astrian vessel entry points, she said, gesturing to floating holographic displays. Based on Cooper's intelligence, we have identified potential weaknesses. Sarah sat quietly observing Alex, who stood at the back of the room, his posture rigid and uncomfortable among the soldiers. The nanites in my blood, she whispered, touching her arm where medical staff had extracted samples. Can they really track us through them? They can do more than track, Alex replied, keeping his voice low. They monitor biological responses, gather data. They're how the Astrians study potential compatibility. Why are they so interested in compatibility? Sarah asked. Before Alex could answer, General Kai approached. Dr. Chen, Commander. Rena has requested your presence at their base camp. She stated, her expression grave. She's specifically asking for you by name. Absolutely not, Alex interjected, stepping forward. Kai's eyes narrowed. This isn't your decision, Cooper. You don't understand what they'll do to her, he argued. I understand we're facing planetary subjugation. Kai countered. Dr. Chen's scientific knowledge makes her valuable, and if establishing diplomatic contact buys us time, we need that advantage. Sarah rose from her seat. I'll go, she said firmly. Alex grabbed her arm, pulling her aside. Sarah, this is exactly what they want, he warned. They're studying emotional connections, human bonds. They'll use you to get to me. Sarah's eyes widened. Why would they care about you specifically? Alex hesitated, then spoke quietly. Because I'm the only experiment that ever escaped them, me. Only human whose body didn't reject their enhancements. Then I need to go, Sarah replied, touching his face briefly. I might learn something crucial. The Astrian base shimmered under the perpetual purple light surrounding it. Sarah was escorted through a biological membrane that served as an entrance. The interior defied human architecture, with flowing organic walls and crystalline structures that pulsed with energy. Commander Rena awaited in what appeared to be a central chamber, her tall, elegant form adorned with ceremonial armor that accentuated her purple skin. Dr. Chen, she greeted with a slight smile. Your reputation as a xenobiologist precedes you. How would you know my research? Sarah asked carefully. We monitor all potential scientific threats. Rena replied, circling Sarah with predatory grace. Your theories about interspecies cellular compatibility were surprisingly accurate. Is that why you requested me? Sarah asked, maintaining her composure despite her racing heart. Partially, Rena admitted, stopping directly before her. I also sense something unique in your genetic structure, something responsive to our presence. Sarah felt a strange tingling sensation as Rena raised a hand near her face. Without touching, your connection to the enhanced human Cooper is also of interest. The commander continued. Few of our subjects form emotional bonds after exposure. Alex is not your subject, Sarah stated firmly. Rena's lips curved upward. Such loyalty. Such protection, she murmured. Tell me, doctor, have you experienced unusual sensations since meeting him? Dreams? Heightened awareness? Sarah remained silent, unwilling to admit the strange connection she'd felt with Alex since their first meeting. Your silence confirms my suspicions. Rena continued, walking toward a glowing console. The compatibility testing is not merely about determining Earth's fate. It is about finding genetic matches capable of blending with Astrian biology. You're looking for breeding stock, Sarah realized with horror. Such a primitive description, Rena laughed. We seek evolutionary advancement through selective merging. Cooper was our first successful human adaptation, but he escaped before the process completed. She touched the console, bringing up images of Alex's cellular structure. His body accepted our modifications perfectly. And now you want more test subjects. Sarah concluded. We want willing partnerships. Rena corrected. Force creates resistance, as we learned with Cooper. Cooperation yields superior results. A melodic tone echoed through the chamber, and another Astrian entered. She was similarly tall and purple-skinned, but her demeanor was less commanding. The preparations are complete, Commander, she announced. Excellent area, Rena responded. Inform the delegation that our demonstration will proceed tomorrow. Sarah tensed. What demonstration? A display of Astrian combat prowess, Rena explained. Your military leaders have agreed to a controlled confrontation. 3 of your champions against 3 of ours. The outcome will determine Earth's immediate future. And if we lose? Sarah asked. Then the second phase begins. Rena's eyes gleamed. Selective. Post-genetic harvesting. Back at the military facility, Alex paced anxiously, waiting for Sarah's return. When she finally appeared, he rushed to her. What happened? Did they hurt you? His hands checking her for injuries. I'm fine, she assured him, though. Her face was pale. But I know what they want, Alex. They're using this challenge as a way to identify compatible humans for genetic harvesting. They want to create hybrids. General Kai approached, overhearing. Then we need to win this challenge, she stated grimly. Cooper, I'm officially requesting you join our team. Alex looked at Sarah, their eyes meeting in silent communication. I'll do it, he finally said. But I fight my way, not yours. Sarah reached for his hand, intertwining her fingers. With his, there's something else, she whispered. I think I'm changing too. Something in the nanites is affecting me. Alex's grip tightened. Then we don't have much time. As night fell over the facility, Sarah and Alex found themselves alone in her laboratory. If what Rena said is true, Sarah murmured, examining her blood samples, then your cellular structure might hold the key to resistance. Alex moved behind her, his proximity sending waves of awareness through her body. Sarah, he said softly, if something happens tomorrow. She turned, facing him. Nothing will happen, we'll find a way. Their lips met hesitantly at first, then with growing urgency. The connection between them intensified as though something beyond normal attraction pulled them together. Hands explored with desperate need as the purple light from outside cast shadows across their embracing forms. I won't let them take you, Alex whispered against her skin. No one's taking anyone. Sarah replied, drawing him closer. We stand together. Secrets unveiled. Dawn broke with an unnatural purple hue as Sarah worked frantically in the laboratory. The wavelength patterns are consistent, she told Alex, who stood watching her with concern. Astrian biology responds negatively to specific frequencies of ultraviolet light. Alex approached, examining the data. Their enhancement processes altered my cellular structure, but I still have human vulnerabilities, he revealed, pulling Sarah away from prying ears. What they did to me was only half complete. Show me, Sarah whispered. Alex removed his shirt, revealing intricate patterns across his torso that pulsed with faint purple energy. The enhancements gave me strength, speed, and accelerated healing, he explained as Sarah touched the markings with scientific fascination. But the final phase would have connected me to their hive consciousness. That's why you escaped, Sarah realized. You would have lost your humanity. And now they want to continue their work through you. Alex said, cupping her face. I can feel it, Sarah. The nanites in your blood are changing you, creating a connection between us. Their eyes met with understanding as Sarah's hand covered his. Then we use it against them, she said. If we're connected, we can disrupt their network from within. General Kai entered with determined stride. It's time. The challenge begins in 1 hour. At the designated arena, Astrian warriors waited in gleaming formation. Commander Rena stood at their center, her eyes immediately finding Sarah in the human delegation. "Have you considered my offer, Doctor?" she called out. "I have," Sarah replied, stepping forward. "And I choose Earth." Rena's expression hardened. "Then watch as your champions fall." Alex moved to the center of the arena alongside 2 military specialists, their faces grim with determination. The Astrian warriors approached fluid and deadly, their purple skin gleaming in the strange light. "Begin," Rena commanded. The combat erupted with shocking speed. One specialist was immediately overwhelmed by an Astrian's superior strength. The second held his ground longer using tactical moves but eventually faltered. Only Alex matched their movements, his enhanced reflexes allowing him to anticipate and counter. Rena watched with growing interest as he disabled one warrior, then another, his movements betraying his Astrian modifications. The final enhancement was never completed, Rena realized aloud, turning to Sarah. Yet he functions at near-perfect capacity. Why? Sarah met her gaze steadily. "Because some connections can't be forced, Commander, they must be chosen." Understanding dawned in Rena's eyes. "The bond between you, it's stabilizing his cellular structure." As the final Astrian warrior closed in on Alex, Sarah activated the device she'd secretly prepared. A pulse of concentrated ultraviolet light erupted across the arena. The Astrian warriors staggered, their purple skin reacting painfully. "Now, Alex!" Sarah shouted. "Earth, stand!" The ultraviolet pulse created moments of vulnerability that Alex exploited with precision. He moved with unprecedented speed, disabling the remaining warrior before turning to Rena. "It's over," he declared. "Earth stands." Rena's expression shifted from shock to grudging respect. "Clever, very clever," she acknowledged. "Using your emotional bond to stabilize the enhancements while exploiting our photosensitivity." General Kai approached with soldiers flanking her. "By your own terms, the challenge is complete," she stated. "Earth remains independent. The immediate challenge, yes," Rena conceded. "But our interest in human potential remains," her eyes fixed on Sarah and Alex. "Particularly in those already showing compatibility." Sarah stepped forward. "We propose an alternative commander-research cooperation instead of subjugation. Voluntary exchange instead of harvesting." "Why would we accept such terms?" Rena questioned. "Because force creates resistance," Sarah replied, echoing Rena's earlier words. "And we've proven we can resist." Alex moved to Sarah's side, their hands finding each other instinctively. The connection between them visibly intensified, the purple patterns on his skin brightening in response to her proximity. Rena observed them with scientific curiosity. "Perhaps there is merit in your proposal, Doctor," she finally said. "A cooperative approach with willing participants." "With ethical oversight," Sarah insisted. "Acceptable terms." Rena agreed. "We will establish a research outpost. Your government has 3 lunar cycles to prepare." As the Astrian delegation departed, their ships rising gracefully into the atmosphere, the purple hue began fading from the sky. General Kai approached Sarah and Alex. "You realize they haven't given up," she warned. "They're merely changing tactics." "We know," Alex replied, "but we've bought time and established boundaries." Later, as they stood alone watching the last Astrian vessel disappear, Sarah turned to Alex. "The connection between us," she began. "Is it just their technology?" "The nanites." Alex drew her closer. "The nanites created a bridge," he said softly, "but what crossed it was entirely human." Their lips met as the sky returned to its natural blue. The threat remained distant, but not forgotten. The future uncertain, but facing it together was enough. Sarah smiled against his lips. "So what happens when an enhanced human and a nanite-infected xenobiologist try to build a normal life?" "Nothing normal about it," Alex replied with a rare smile. "But I wouldn't have it any other way." As night fell, they stood together, hands intertwined, watching the stars with new understanding. Earth had stood its ground, and in finding each other they had each found something worth fighting for. The purple skies had brought invasion but also connection, proving that even across the vast difference between worlds, some bonds transcended species. "They'll return," Sarah whispered. "And we'll be ready," Alex answered, pulling her close as the first normal sunset in days painted the horizon with earthly colors.